I didn't have much of a childhood. I was the oldest of three. Both parents were alcoholics. Mostly my dad was the one who did the beatings with belts and hairbrushes and razor straps. We didn't know when it was going to happen. My dad would come home drunk, and maybe if the dishes weren't completely done, we'd get spanked or beat.
I had a lot of difficulties in my upbringing. When I was 5 years old, I got taken from my mom because of her drug abuse. I got placed into a home with my auntie. My auntie was a Christian, but she also was very big on corporal punishment. So there was a lot of conflicting of my understanding of what family upbringing should be. It was switches, extension cords, basically anything that she can get her hands on. We had to kneel with water buckets holding out to the side. If we dropped it, we got beat. We got whooping inside of tubs, outside of tubs. I mean, anything that she basically could think of, it was done. At 15, I got put into DFS custody. I ran away when I was 17, and after that, I kind of just slipped through the cracks because are basically nowhere for us to go once we are out of DFS custody.
My childhood was a nightmare. Ever since I can remember, I was abused by my mom. Childhood there's bits and pieces of it that I still don't remember because it's been blocked out for, as the doctors put, my protection. And even being at 40, I sit back and I'm like, okay, I don't remember this part of my life. I left my mom's house on January 21st of 1991. And it was a day that it was either hit her and get out or be killed. That's how bad it got that day.
My life was, as a small child, was difficult. It started at age 5. I remember my uncle trying to sexual abuse me until my mom and my cousins came back to get me. My mom realized that she had left me with my uncle and outside, and we weren't anywhere to be found. I can remember them banging on the door. So it didn't happen then. But as far as from when I turned 8 to 16 years old, I was a victim of, I would say, abuse, sexual abuse. My mom's brothers, my stepdad's brothers, few of the guys from the neighborhood. I felt like everybody was not trustworthy.
My father was very abusive to us. He screamed, he hollered, top of his lungs at us. He pushed us around. He may hit us across the back with stitcher cords and stuff like that. But during his abuse, the way he beat on us, he said that was tough love. Coming home from high school, from track, and one of my brothers, before they came and got me from school, and on my way home, it started getting dark early. I remember this day clearly. And getting so close to getting home, this young dude jumped out and grabbed me from the behind and tucked me, put duct tape around my mouth where I couldn't scream or holler, threw me across his shoulder and raped me. told my brother, I told my brother John that I really was close to. He's passed away and gone today. And I told him, I said, only thing I remember that what happened because of while he was raping me, he did a lot of laughing. And come to find out, it was one of my brother's friends. But the person that did it to me, he was my next door neighbor. He was that close.
I was taking care of my brother. We were living in a house. The owner had some citations, and he was really a slumlord. The city come in. They closed the house down, and so they told all of us, even the owner, to leave. Well, I was sleeping on the porch. My brother and sister-in-law were sleeping in the van right in front of the house. And that went on about 2 weeks. Then the police come and told me I couldn't sleep there. And I said, okay, do you have any suggestions? And they're like, no, nothing other than you cannot sleep on this porch. I'm like, okay. So we all started sleeping in the van, my brother, myself, and my sister-in-law, and my sister. And that's where we slept for almost 4 months.
Yes, I grew up homeless. We always moved about. I guess when things got hectic, hectic. We'd move to Mississippi. We'd stay there for a couple of years. Then we moved back to Florida and stay a couple of years. I never finished school.
I've been homeless for almost 3 years. Bad choices with an ex. Very abusive, ran my credit into the ground tremendously. And I'm just trying to figure out how to get back on my feet. After we broke up, I started staying with friends. Because I still can't get no utilities onto my name. I have evictions on my name because of him. So that's been a very big problem, trying to get into low-income housing. If you got evictions, you can't get in. You owe bills, you can't get in. So it's been kind of one of those things of, what do I do?
And one day I never came back home. I just left my kids at home in the house till they called their father and told them, I'm not coming back. I see you when you see you disgrace my children. Because I was so hurt because I didn't know how to be a mother. I was young having my children.
Basically, I didn't have anywhere else to go, and my family wouldn't help, and I couldn't really get help from any services because I would be on the borderline to where they couldn't help me. Either they had a problem with how many kids that I have, or that I had not enough kids. So it just all depended on the agencies and their certain criteria. My abuse and traumatic situations, my homelessness, has caused me to have PTSD, schizoaffective disorder. So it's hard for me to be able to find a job and to hold one.
What do I want in life? I want to get back to where I was about 10 years ago. Stable, own house, my own business, and no worries. I know I'm getting older. I know the physical pain's going to be there. I know the physical problems are going to be there. It's in my family. It's in our genes. But I just want to be able to go to work, come home, sit down and go, I'm home. Mine. Do whatever I want, you know, and be done.
My future, I want an apartment of our own, another vehicle of our own, to be able to stand on our 2 feet, have another full-time job, even if it is in fast food. Really don't want to go back to fast food, but unless I can maybe go to school for like CNA or something like that.
I am most proud of my capability to start something and actually finish it, because prior to working at Hope and Faith, I got frustrated along down the path, especially after losing my children because of the house fire. I kind of gave up, and I've never really completed anything in my life. So this is a big step for me, and I'm really proud of myself, especially because we have a safe surf class going on, and I'm like the number one student there.
I'm glad that God had the people to open up the doors for me for the program. And I'm glad that the joy that they have brought into my life, it gave me a possibility that I can do the things that I need to do for me today. And I thank the Lord for all the joy and the happiness and the peace that I have when reuniting me back with my family in as much abundance of love, because they have prayed and prayed, because they thought many times I was out there dead somewhere because, you know, on my addiction. And I thank Hope and Faith Ministry today for helping me to get my life together. I learned a lot. My handwriting and spelling has improved for me. It's a joyful noise, you know, because I'm able to read and write and do other things for other people now. So as I grow in my studies and reading the Bible, it helps me a lot. I'm understanding what I'm reading and everything. So God has really blessed me. I have come a long way.